So I want to just wrap up this brief series on MDI application development by taking a look at some of the code behind this application, both on the parent form and one of the child forms. So first off, create an MDI parent form. It's as easy as setting the is MDI parent container or is MDI container to true. We want to take a look now at an event handler to handle multiple events. So I've got this toolbar button for exit. I've also got file exit. I've also got, let's get over here, the context menu exit. If I click any one of them, it's going to take me right to the single procedure that I have in the code here. MNU file exit underscore click handles the MNU file exit click, the context exit click, and the toolbar button exit click. Just the one line of code. I've got a timer control on the component tray for this main form, and that's what's going to help me manage the date and time. The code for this is all in the text. I added this little bit for updating the message, or at least the message label inside the status bar. I go ahead and I check for the count property of MDI children. So the count will return however many children there are currently open. So if it's 0, we just want that default message to show. In every other case, as we move from payroll form to summary form, we're going to see a change in that message label. I've got a couple things here. Let's take a look. Actually, I want to take a look at payroll first. So I'm going to go over to my payroll child form. There it is there. It's really very similar to the child form the last time I demoed, except that I've removed the summary button from this form because it's managed through the parent form. And I changed the exit button to a close button because it doesn't exit the program, it just closes this form. So if I take a look at the code behind this, we can look at some of the instance property code that you're going to have to add to both your piecework and your list form for maintaining your list of piecework objects, keeping in mind that the summary form you're going to have is going to be a modal form. So here's my instance. Then I'm inside my FRM payroll, and I'm going to declare a private property called payroll instance. It is going to be of the type FRM payroll. And then I've got a read-only property procedure that I can use to access this. And this is that code that's also on the PowerPoint that's going to be on DC Connect. If the instance is nothing, then go ahead and instantiate a new FRM payroll. And in every case, return the instance. So it'll either be the current instance or a new instance. The other side of that is managing the instance as this form closes. So we have to dispose of the instance, that object, so the next time the user wants to display this form, they're not prevented from doing so because there's a remaining instance sitting around in memory. So it's just as simple as on the form closing event for this form, payroll instance equals nothing. And then just to go back over to the main form to see the other side of this, here's my MNU view payroll underscore click event handler, and it handles the click event on the menu item, on the toolbar button item, and on the context menu item click. So again, the one event handler for 3 different events, 3 different controls. I simply inside this procedure declare a FRM payroll instance by calling on the instance property procedure on my declared object or declared form object. And then I set a couple of things. Most importantly, I set MDI parent equals me being the main form, the parent container, and then show it and set the focus. The other thing I wanted to take a look at, we've taken a look at the timer tick. I'm going to go back over to the payroll form code and just to close up on the status bar. So here's the activated event, right? Very similar to the load, but this occurs after load. Load will only ever occur once in a form's life while that application is running. You can go switch back and forth to that form, be it an SDI or an MDI application. Load only happens once. So you actually need to go after the activated event because every time this form gets the focus, in this case we're going to effect a change to that status bar message. That covers us for the Singleton design pattern, MDI. There's a fair bit in the new and different controls that you're expected to include in Lab 5. It's all covered in Chapter 24, and lots there for you to discover in terms of working with these different controls. You want to make sure that you maintain a high level of efficiency by only coding the necessary event handlers. Don't code multiple event handlers to all do the same thing.